This week, I'm delighted to be able to spend an hour in the company of one of the hottest actors on the planet, Florence Pugh. She's the star of The Falling, Lady Macbeth, Fighting with My Family, and most recently, Little Women. But we started off chatting, of course, about my favourite subject, dogs.
Yes, it's true. When I'm down and I'm blue.
Is it true, by the way, and I want to get this right out of the way first because this is important shit, that you have a beagle?
No. Sadly. No,
My
but hang on,
sister,
hang on.
said, I think she's got a beagle.
Because I said that, I think. So basically, we fostered a dog at the beginning of this. And
Tell me you didn't give it back because I will think less of the pair of you.
yeah, I know. But we fostered it, and the night before we were thinking, this is crazy. We've never met the dog. We're fostering this little puppy. It could be crazy.
Yeah.
It could eat us in the night. What are we doing? And then we realized that it's okay because if it is crazy, don't worry. We're fostering it. And then we fell in love after the first car ride that I took her home. So we adopted it pretty quickly. I think we knew we were going to do that, but it was just quite nice to kind of go in and going,
What is it? What kind of dog?
So it looks like a beagle, which is why everybody thinks it's a beagle. But I know. But I thought it was half pit, half beagle.
That's a nice combo.
I know. But she's actually a Staffordshire Bull Terrier. I know.
So I have a rescue staffy who's this sort of
You do?
keg of shit with sort of ostensibly some legs sort of at each corner, you know. Just sort of runs and kind of it's sort of asthmatic and big, and everyone says he, and she's a girl. She's got tits.
Sounds like me.
She's got tits down to the ground, so not like you, I'm sure.
Oh, not like me.
But she's had, I mean, who knows how many babies in her previous incarnation, but I never would have thought about having a staffy, and now I'm wildly in love.
They're beautiful. My grandparents had a staffy for years, and she was, wicked. But our one that we have, Billy, has the biggest legs and feet. So it's kind of a bit like a pit in that sense. It doesn't have tiny little staffy feet.
Yes.
She has like big cloggy thingies. Like she sounds like she's wearing clogs all the time.
Does that worry you though? Because it's like, do you remember when there was that phase for micro pigs? And people were basically buying piglets.
Baby pigs.
Yeah.
And then 4 months down the line, they were huge.
And there'd be this enormous sort of Gloucester old spot careening through flats in Tokyo. Do you think that's going to happen? They're saying they've got a little pit and it's basically going to be a mastiff.
Well, I grew up around big dogs, so I'm always secretly feeding her, hoping that she'll like eat more and then grow more.
Become a Great Dane.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't mind that, but she's stocky as anything. Like if you can hear her running for ages, she's so loud and heavy.
But
I know,
means
you do love her.
Now you've got the dog. That means the roots are put down there, essentially, doesn't it? I mean,
no, because she's portable.
it's true. They're always just a carry case away.
Yep, they are. They are.
What if you keep feeding her? She isn't.
No,
it's
exactly.
a massive flaw.
Bigger. No, she's easily transportable. I've already thought about it. And plus, if she had been a pit, she wouldn't have been able to come into England.
No.
So I'm happy that she's a staffy.
Yes, they can pass freely through all known border checks. Who's going to mess with them anyway?
Exactly.
But it's now kind of home now, LA.
Well, my boyfriend lives here, and no, my family and friends still live in England. I ran out here because I have a breathing issue. And when when everything started happening, I was in London at the time, and my mum. I've had this breathing thing since I was tiny, so my mum's always had to be aware of new diseases, new illnesses that could potentially really hurt me, and so she's been kind of barking about this since December. And then when it really got serious, my mum I was back in England for some jobs in March, or maybe before that, end of February, and she said, I think you should go back to the clean air. So I raced back here, and I've just been staying put.
So you've been on proper lockdown due to sort of an immunity.
Yeah.
It's not an immunity thing, though, is it, or is it?
No, I have a funky trachea. That's what's wrong with me. I know.
I saw that band play Glastonbury, I think.
That, and along with floppy larynx.
Is it technically? Yeah. Is it a tight trachea or a floppy larynx or both?
Well, they're just a bit shit. But no, they're getting better as I get older. But I tell you what it is, it doesn't matter how strong I am now. Like when I was a kid, I was always ill. But now that I'm older, I mean, touch wood, I rarely get ill in the year. But when I do, it's the same intensity as it was when I was, always ill. So I just have to be really careful. That's all. And with something like this, I don't think I'd have too much fun with Corona. So I'm scrubbing every aubergine that I bring into the house.
Is it just the aubergines?
Everything.
Okay, I was going to say, because if it was just aubergines, there'd be supplementary questions, to be honest.
Could you imagine if I was like barking up some sort of conspiracy theory that Corona was only travelling on aubergines around the world?
You're in the right country for it.
I bet.
You really are.
Although I'd have to call it eggplant.
You would. How are you good with all that kind of sort of zucchini and arugula? Can you do it? I can't do it, and I refuse to do it.
What, changing of the language?
Yeah.
No way.
It's rocket, right?
It's rocket.
Which makes me a prick in every language.
It does, actually. It's rocket, it's pavement, it's aluminium,
it's nappies.
It's cling film, it's nappies, it's plaster, not band-aids.
And a fanny is a fanny. It's not a...
I know. It's not a bum. Jesus.
I'm not putting that pack in my fanny. You can
no.
Just get to fuck, as the Glaswegians would magnificently say. Do you think, is it a leap then, bearing in mind you have a diminutive windpipe and a floppy nose?
Yeah.
Was it inevitable then you'd go into a sort of compensatory performance sort of line of work, do you think? The fact that it's felt so that your throat, your voice, your mechanism for speech has felt compromised, that you would then triumph? Or is that too
maybe
on the nose?
I mean, sure, you can say that. I mean, that makes it sound very, very fancy. I like that, though.
Gives it a better psychological arc.
It does. No, I think I've always been loud. My whole family's always been loud. My parents are very big people. I don't think it was odd that all of us wanted to do this. But I do think you can hear it in my acting, certainly when I cry and certainly when I shout. That kind of grate that you can hear when I laugh is my breathing tubes going.
But it's great because it sounds like extra grit. It sounds like there's you can take it, to coin the Spinal Tap measurement, the new metric, you can take it to 11, which somebody with a less floppy larynx just probably wouldn't be able to do.
I know, I was a bit worried about this because when I was about 12... I was always going in to go and get tests and seeing what I could get done and all of that. And I remember hearing that they had done the first trachea transplant and how maybe by the time that I'm 25, it might be an option that I should look into. And I remember thinking, but if I get that, will I have a different voice?
You're right, love.
Or it would be so much higher because it would be fresh and juicy.
Yes. Oh no, but that's so.
I'd be like this.
But that's saying you might get a child's larynx. But what if you had like an elder person's larynx?
Oh, I mean,
I don't know. I don't know anything about larynx. I'm not even going to get into it.
I mean, do you think the voice box would go over with it as well?
This is why we need somebody with a medical degree, because
this is why we are discussing
this. Throat. It's basically, and they can remake it. Get Nicolas Cage back, get Travolta back, and it's
exactly
same face.
I love that film.
It's so underrated.
But it was a guilty pleasure. I don't think it was a.
There's no guilt.
No guilt whatsoever.
For me, it's always about, and Nicolas Cage does it in The Rock as well. It's the shameless scene chewing and scene stealing, but it's also that weird thing that John Travolta does on that woman's face.
Yes,
he sort of runs. For those who haven't seen it, he runs his. I mean, someone like raking her face.
He's pretty grotesque, actually. But did you feel slightly guilty for fancying him at the end?
Yes, but then I always think the ones that are naughty. The bad ones are always more fun.
They're so much more fun. But even when you know that he's a really, really, really bad person and you still fancy him, I mean, that's a slight guilt trip.
That's why everyone must rush to play bad. Although you haven't played. You always play sort of.
I play always bad people.
No, I don't see them as bad people.
I know you don't. That's because you like naughty people.
Yes, and because I'm morally compromised myself, and it makes me wrong.